Every day, millions of people accept friend requests from strangers. Most are forgotten within minutes. One of them would lead to a story that no one saw coming. On the surface, the profile looked completely ordinary. A young girl with an active profile, years of photos, and posts that made her seem real in every way. Before accepting it, Mustafa did what most people wouldn't bother doing. He checked every detail of her account, looking for anything suspicious. He found nothing. Satisfied, he accepted the request. To him, it was just another conversation with a stranger. He had no idea that a single click would change the course of his life. Mustafa was 20, a university student from Giza, spending his summer nights like many people his age, split between online games and social media. One evening, a friend request came in from a girl named Ragda. She introduced herself as a 17-year-old from Alexandria who dreamed of moving to Cairo to start a new life. Before long, their conversations had become part of his daily routine. They talked for hours, dreams, fears, plans, and over the following weeks, the distance between two strangers slowly disappeared. Then, just as they were making plans to finally meet, Ragda vanished. For over 2 weeks, nothing. No messages, no posts. Even the daily dawn prayer updates she never missed simply stopped. He reached out again and again. Silence every time. On the 18th day, a notification finally came through. It was Ragda, apologizing and admitting something terrible had happened. While home alone, she said a close friend of her father's had assaulted her. When her father found out, the family forced her to marry the man responsible to avoid a scandal. She told him there was no future left for them. Everything they dreamed about was over. Mustafa couldn't bring himself to accept that this was the end. Ragda told him she'd since moved to Bahira Governorate and sent him an address. Someone would be waiting outside to help him, she said. Late one night, Mustafa made the trip from Giza to Bahira. A young woman he'd never seen before met him outside the building. She handed him a key, then a knife, and pointed toward the entrance. He went in quietly, walked to the bedroom. A man was asleep, a stranger to him in every way except one. This was the man Ragda blamed for destroying her life. Minutes later, he was back on the road to Giza, disappearing into the night before sunrise. For 2 days, he tried reaching Ragda. Nothing came back. Then her account disappeared completely. 10 days after that, police were at his door. Sitting in custody, still certain he'd done the right thing, Mustafa had no idea investigators were about to unravel a story that had started long before that first friend request ever landed in his inbox. What investigators uncovered next changed everything. The girl Mustafa believed he knew never existed. Investigators traced the account back to a 32-year-old woman named Shima, 10 years in her marriage to a businessman named Mohammed, and secretly involved with another man, Mahmoud. Together, they wanted Mohammed out of the picture. But instead of committing the murder themselves, they decided to find someone else who would do it for them. Shima built a completely fictional identity, assembled from stolen photos and a carefully constructed backstory, refined over months until it felt real enough to fool anyone. Then she began sending friend requests to dozens of young men around Mustafa's age. She wasn't looking for love. She was looking for someone she could manipulate. Eventually, she found Mustafa. Every conversation had a purpose. Every emotion was carefully calculated. Even the assault story, the forced marriage, the heartbreak, was invented from nothing. The woman waiting outside the building in Bahira wasn't a cousin. It was Shima herself, handing him the key and the knife, and sending him toward the room where her own husband was sleeping. Mustafa, he thought, he was protecting the woman he loved. He was carrying out someone else's plan. After the killing, Mahmoud, who'd been hiding inside the apartment the whole time, slipped out over the rooftop, avoiding the cameras near the entrance. Shima injured herself, tied her own hands and feet, and screamed until neighbors broke down the door. She told police 2 masked men had broken in and fled. At first, investigators believed her. But one detail didn't add up. Security footage from that night showed only one unfamiliar young man entering and leaving the building. That single inconsistency was enough to make them dig deeper, and it led them straight to the fake account and months of messages with a man named Mustafa. When police brought him in to identify a suspect, everything fell into place. Standing in front of him was the woman he knew as Ragda, or rather, Shima. The woman investigators said had orchestrated the entire plan from the very first message. Shima was later reported to have been sentenced to death for orchestrating her husband's murder. Mustafa's final legal outcome, however, remains unclear in the available reporting. Whether the court treated him as a premeditated killer or as someone manipulated into committing the crime has never been conclusively established. In the end, the most dangerous weapon in this case wasn't the knife. It was misplaced trust. Trust built over months of carefully crafted lies, all set in motion by one ordinary friend request. Thank you for watching Arabian Mysteries. Stay curious, stay safe, and above all, trust wisely. I'll see you in the next mystery.